Hello everyone and welcome to another awesome learning experience with Saoirse, who is awesome. Today we're going to be talking about writing equations. That's lesson 2-1 starting on page 75. I hope I'll be able to help you do what you need to do in math, so let's get started. To write an equation, the first thing you want to do is identify what you don't know and assign a variable to it. Okay, and a variable is basically what you don't know. So you're going to put a code. So usually we use the letters of the alphabet. So it'd be like X, Z, A, B, things like that. Okay? Then once you have your variable, write this sentence as an equation. So you want to, when you're writing your sentence, you want to look for keywords like as is as much as, and is the same as, is identical to. Now these are all in your book, so you can go ahead and look at the book. So these are all keywords that when you're looking at a word problem and you see those, you know, if you see as is, then you know that's where you're going to put your equal sign, okay? If we look up at the problem on page 75 at the Y section, it says the Daytona 500 is widely considered to be the most important event of the NASCAR circuit. The distance around the track is 2.5 miles and the race is a total of 500 miles. We can write an equation to determine how many laps it takes to finish the race, okay? So first thing we want to do is assign a variable, but let's go ahead and use our words to be able to find where we're going to put our equal sign. Okay? So let's look at the key stuff up here, which is the distance around the track is 2.5 miles, and the race is a total of 500 miles. Okay, so we know that the race is a total of 500 miles. So when you see total, you automatically know that that is, it wasn't one of the keywords, but when you see total, that's usually the full amount. So you're going to put your equal sign here, the total amount, which we know, so we're going to just put total. Okay, and then we saw the distance around the track is 2.5 miles. So that's like the length of a lap. So the length of the lap, okay, and then we'd multiply that times the number of laps, which we don't know. So number of laps, put L there. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to put our variable to what we don't know, which is the number of laps. So we're going to put X as the number of laps, and we knew the total is 500, and then the length was 2.5, okay? Then when you divide 2.5 and 2.5, you'll get your answer. X equals whatever 500 divided by 2.5 is. 7 times a number squared is 5 times the difference of K and M. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to put this into an equation. So let's look for our keywords. We know our keywords are as as much as, is the same as, or is identical to. Okay, I see is right here. So we know that our equal sign is going to go in the middle and that there are two separate problems. There's this problem on one side and then this problem on the other side. So let's look at the green one side first. So it says 7 times a number squared. So when we see a number squared, we know that's going to be our variable. Okay, so we're going to put our number, and it said squared, so squared. And then it said 7 times a number, so that would be 7 n squared, or 7 times n squared. And on the other side it says 5 times the difference of k and m. And we know it's difference, that means subtraction. So 5 times the difference, and we'll put it in parentheses, k minus m. And there's our equation. Go ahead and take a look at this next one and see if you can get the answer. Pause the video, find out your answer, and when you're ready to check, unpause. Alright, so 15 times the number is, 15 times the number subtracted from 80 is 25, okay? So our keyword right there is So we know that our equal sign is going to equal 25. Then it says 15 times a number subtracted from 80. So we know that that is 80 minus 15n. You can rewrite the verbal sentence so it's easier to translate by writing it 15 times the number subtracted from 80 is 25, which is the same as 80 minus 15 times the number is 25. And we made n our variable. So hopefully you got that right. Go ahead and look at this one. This one has a little bit of dividing in your equation, but I'm sure you'll be able to handle it. So go ahead and pause the video, figure out your answer, and when you're ready to check, unpause the video. Alright, so 2 plus the quotient of a number and 8 is the same as 16. I see our is the same as, right there, so we know that our equal sign is going to equal 16. Then 2 plus the quotient of a number and 8. So when we have 8, that means that it's going to be dividing the number by 8. So we can put the number over 8 because that's dividing. And then 2 plus. So 2 plus the number, the quotient of a number and 8 is the same as 16. So 2 plus n over 8 equals 16. Right, take a look at this one. Pause the video, get your answer. When you're ready to check, go ahead and unpause the video. Alright, so 27 times k is h squared decreased by 9. Okay, so I see our keyword right here, so we know our equal sign is going to be right there. So it says 27 times k, so we know that's 27k, is equal to h squared decreased, that's subtracted, by 9. So 27k equals h squared minus 9, and that's your equation. Okay, real world example 2, use the 4-step problem solving plan. So refer to the information at the left and how many days will 261,000 flights have occurred in the United States. So the information on the list given is the problem is that there are approximately 87,000 flights per day in the United States. We are asked to find how many days it would take for 261,000 flights to have occurred. So we need to write an equation, and we'll let x be our variable, which means the number of days, which we don't know. Okay, so x is the number of days we don't know. And we want it to equal 261,000 flights. And then 87,000 flights a day. And that is our equation. Okay, so when you divide 261,000 by 87,000, you'll get 3. Example 3 is write a formula. So translate the sentence into a formula. The area of a triangle equals the product of 1 over 2 the length, or half of the length of the base and the height. So we can let A be the area, B be the base, and H be the height. So let's read it again. The area of a triangle equals the product of 1/2 the length of the base and the height. So we know that it said the area of a triangle equals, so that was our key word. So we'll put A, the area of the triangle, equals half the length of B, of the base, which is B, and the height. So the formula for the area of a triangle is A equals 1 over 2 BH, half BH. I always get that mixed up. I don't know why. In a right triangle, the square measure of the hypotenuse C is equal to the sum of the squares of the measure of the legs A and B. So we want to translate the sentence into a formula. So go ahead and try it, and then when you're ready to check, unpause the video. So let's read it again. In the right triangle, the square of the measure of the hypotenuse is equal. So we know that that's where our equal sign goes. Equal. So it said the square of the measure of the hypotenuse C, so that's C squared, is equal to the sum of the squares of the measures of A and B, and it said squares. There you go, really simple equation. Alright, so let's translate each of these equations into a sentence. So it says 60z minus 15 equals 45. So the way we can translate this is put 6 times z, so that's this part, okay, minus, put 15 equals 45. So what it basically wants you to do is to just write it out in words instead of just the equation. So if you got 15 equals 25u squared plus, oh my goodness, that looks like a W. Okay, we'll do W. 25w squared plus 2. So go ahead and try that, and when we're ready to check, I'll pause the video. So what you get is, let's kind of separate these. So we have 15 is equal to the product of 25 and UW squared plus 2. Sometimes they'll give you a problem and you have to, well, they give you information and you have to write a problem on it. So this one is t equals the time that Maxine drove in each turn. T plus 4 equals the time that Tia drove in each turn. 2t plus t plus 4 equals 28. So what they want you to do is to make a problem from that. A sample problem that you can make with that would be like Maxine and Tia went on a trip and they took turns driving. During her turn, Tia drove 4 hours more than Maxine, and Maxine took 2 turns and Tia took 1 turn. Together they drove for 28 hours. How many hours did Maxine drive? So they put all of that information at the top into their problem, and they made a question at the end to be able to solve it. And 2t plus 4 equals 28 was their equation, and the t represents the hours that Maxine drove, as you can see, and then t plus 4 equals the time that Tia drove. So they'll probably ask you to make a problem. We won't do an example because that's pretty easy, but yeah. Alright, well, I hope I was able to be very helpful to you in learning how to write equations. This has been another awesome learning experience with Saoirse, who's awesome, telling all of you guys that you are awesome. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day.